Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Priya Hassan and welcome to our final episode of AstroCon for this year. And for this year, I have actually decided to sum up some of our results that we've actually got in astronomy in this year. So let's go on to them. And here what you see in the background is the document which I'm going to share with you, and that's why I'm going to refer to that. So we're going to talk about astronomy news for 2024. It's been a very interesting year. It's been a year where there's been a very big eclipse, explorations, new discoveries. And like you see, there are lots of, the solar eclipse was not in India, it was North America, Mexico, but globally it gave people a very large awareness on eclipses, etc. There's a lot happening in terms of space telescopes, the ramp up of lunar research, as well as lots of international partnerships and various things. And therefore, I'm going to show you a series of notable developments, discoveries that took place in 2024. And the coming years are definitely going to be very interesting for the field of astronomy. So before that, let's wish you all a happy astronomical new year for 2025. And let's sum up with what happened with this year. So this year, like I said, in April 8th, there was a total solar eclipse across North America. So you can see this is the path of the total solar eclipse. Now, you know that the sun has a size of only half a degree, 30 arc minutes in the sky, right? So therefore, what happens is when you actually have the solar eclipse, you will only have certain parts of the globe which are going to actually observe eclipses, and hence we have a path of the eclipse like this, and you can see that this basically spread around parts of Mexico, the United States, as well as a bit of Canada, and this was the mark of totality, and this was used very effectively by astronomers in this region to actually promote astronomy, teach a lot of astronomy outreach, as well as professional observatories collaborating to provide safe viewing experiences for people, etc. Let's move to the next important news, which was OSIRIS-REx. OSIRIS-REx was a NASA mission which actually went and studied an asteroid called Bennu in the late 2023, that is last year. And the interesting thing about the mission was that it actually got back samples from the asteroid to the Earth. Now, these samples came back sometime late last year. And what's interesting is here you can see a picture of the findings, that they actually found that you actually had an outer crust of a bright phosphate, okay, about 1 millimeter long. And the other three panels, they actually show you progressively zoomed in views of the fragment. And what they actually found in this thing is they actually found organic compounds, okay? So they confirmed the presence of complex organic compounds on Bennu. And therefore, there's a big, this is an interesting thing because it puts up a discussion about how asteroids could have developed life building blocks to the Earth, or what else could asteroids be responsible for in that sense. The sample also contains signatures of water-bearing minerals, offering new insights in the history of water in the solar system. I would repeat that it is often believed that water which came on the Earth also is probably came because of an asteroid which hit the Earth and got water onto the Earth. Otherwise, 75% Earth on the surface of the Earth is not a very likely thing to find on a planet. There are also various hydrated minerals, etc., which were found, and therefore there's a lot of ongoing research happening into chemical analysis to study Bennu's composition as well as refine models of planetary formation. The third interesting piece is about James Webb. Now, James Webb has been a lot in the news, and actually I would need to have many sessions to actually discuss James Webb. And therefore, I'll just briefly tell you, if you know that this is a very big 6.4 meter telescope, which has been sent to a distance of about 1.5 million kilometers, and it has been used very well to spectroscopically study extraplanet atmospheres. So it can actually give you the composition of extraplanet atmospheres, revealing the presence of water, carbon dioxide, and other molecules. It's also being used to study very distant galaxies, and there are some very interesting findings that have been found about it, about distant galaxies, star formation rates, etc. And there are also a few newly observed galaxies which appear to be more massive, more developed than the normal cosmological models. And therefore, there are lots of new adjustments required to galaxy formation models and many more theories. So James Webb is obviously going to give an even more path-breaking research in astronomy. The next interesting thing about this year has been lunar missions. The NASA itself has totally hiked up its Artemis mission, which is its return to the moon. And you have the commercial lunar payload services. They've actually opened it to the market for people to propose various payloads as well as to landers to this thing. So here you can see images of various of these landers, etc., which are being proposed. And then it's obviously not just the US, there are various other countries, India, Japan, private consortium, all of them are all out to explore the moon, right? This is to mine the moon, to use moon for further missions as for various missions, okay? Another interesting thing is Euclid. Euclid is another space telescope which was sent by European Space Agency, launched in 2023. It has been mapping billions of galaxies, sending a lot of preliminary data, revising our theories in cosmology, etc. TESS. TESS is another NASA space telescope which has been studying exoplanets, and there are various new exoplanets which are being discovered by TESS. Remember that the TESS candidates are ideal candidates to be then followed up by James Webb, okay? Or it could be followed up by ground-based telescopes. So various ground-based telescopes, they feed in with the candidates identified by TESS, which can be further studied. And what they're actually finding is that on these exoplanets, now we're actually finding exomoons, rings, various things which are being available because of this data. There's also a lot happening in gravitational waves. I hope you know about all the detectors. There's LIGO, there's Virgo, there's Kagra, and all of these have had major upgrades, and they're basically checking into various events which are taking place with neutron star black holes. They could be mergers, or they could be coalescence, or they could be ringing, and the signals which you identify from them are signature signals which can be used. People are also using other telescopes to look for counterparts of the events which they are catching through the gravitational wave detectors. There's a lot also happening in the giant telescopes. So here you can see this very big telescope. This is the extremely large telescope which is being built by the Europeans, 38.4 meters, okay? And you can see it over here, the construction. You can see that the construction is very much on track. A lot of it is already ready, and it is ready for, it will soon get ready. Here you can see another telescope which is also being built in Chile. This is the Giant Magellan telescope. Again, you can see the construction site. A lot of the construction is completed. It's ongoing, and therefore we are very much looking forward to the results we're going to get from these big, big telescopes. These are the 30-meter class telescopes, which are the ones for this decade, okay? The Rubin Observatory is also a very important telescope which is coming up, and here you can see the construction site. You can see that a lot of the telescope building, etc., is ready. There's a lot of the stuff also ready. They've already started taking early test images, preliminary images, etc., and soon there would be, hopefully, observations will start. Through the year, there's obviously been lots of public engagement, citizen science projects. Like I said, the Eclipse Fever was there, online star parties, citizen science boundaries, there are platforms like Zoo Universe, etc. Lots of things happening. So I think I'd like to wind up with saying that basically this has been a very interesting year. It started off with the eclipse. There's so much happening. We're going back to the moon. There are these giant telescopes we are making, 30-meter class telescopes. There are results we are getting from Euclid. We are getting results from TESS. And then you have a lot of these developments. So I would say it's a very exciting, very interesting year. And we look forward to all the exciting stuff that will come up in the following year. So let's look forward. Happy New Year to all of you. And we'll keep meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.